corporate etiquette, Khalid.
Ooh la la. I was admiring her beauty for last 10 minutes. Her beautiful, flawless skin, her shoulder length, pitch black, straight hair, her thin pink lips, the dimple on her cheeks, and big blue eyes were glittering every moment she was nearing me. I was mesmerized with her shy smile when she saw me. She looked deep into my eyes as if she was searching something in my soul. I sat back at my chair and I was completely out of the world looking at her incredible beauty. She came closer to me. A sudden flash of naughtiness appeared into her eyes. And then she whispered, blowing the fresh, minty air from her mouth. Khalid, why don't you go and wash your face? Well, that was weird. I was expecting some lovables from her pearl-tucked tooth hygienic mouth. Khalid, go and wash your face. She uttered these unbelievable lines yet again. And before I could understand anything, I heard a round of laughter which burst around me. And slowly her face started going away from me. I was terrified, not with the fact that she was going away, but with the fact that there were some people around me, looking at me and laughing at me. At the next moment, her face disappeared, and a few familiar faces appeared in front of me. I started recognizing them. They were all my colleagues. Was I in a management meeting and dozed off while my lady manager was giving a lecture? Oh damn, yes, I was. I was in a management meeting and I was sleeping when my lady manager was giving a lecture. I stood up, apologized, giving dirty looks to my colleagues, so-called best friends in my office. I stepped outside the room. However, thank God, I was out of the torture. Ladies and gentlemen, we all work in some or the other way in corporate world today. And these kind of incidents force us to think whether we are following corporate etiquettes or not. The very next day, I reached office 30 minutes late from the usual login time. Well, that is not an incident. I usually go to the office at the same time. After parking my bike in the parking space, I rushed toward the elevator lobby. I saw nobody there, so I got the privilege to call the elevator down. With great pride and pleasure, I stepped ahead and pushed the button to call the elevator down, and I started waiting for the door to open. And while this time, there were a few other employees, they gathered around me, and they also started waiting for the elevator, except one smart guy. Now you tell me, guys, if I'm standing in the elevator lobby and waiting for the elevator, doesn't it mean that I have already pushed the button? Is there a need for you to come and push the button again? Now this smart employee, he did the same thing. He stepped ahead, he pushed the button again. Maybe you want to tell me, dude, see, now how the elevator works. And to my disbelief, actually the elevator came that time. I cursed my fate and I started to get into the elevator. But this smart employee was so desperate to get into the elevator that he stood so close to the elevator door that his nose was almost touching the stainless steel. At the moment the elevator door opened, the 6 ladies inside, they screamed out of looking at this trespass. 2 of them were onshore clients and they were looking at this shameless creature as if they have seen penguin in India. Despite of all these humiliation which hardly had affected this guy, he made his way into the elevator before anybody could get out. But we all waited as gentlemen to all the passengers to come out of the elevator, and then we all made our path in and pushed the respective floor buttons. The elevator door closed and the journey started. Now the elevator journey is always interesting. I always like it. At the 2nd floor, elevator stopped. The door opened and I saw the 2 healthy ladies. I'm sorry, don't mind if I call them sumo. I saw two sumo ladies standing with a tiny fruit plate in their hand. Yes, the fruit plate was looking tiny in their hand. And they stepped into the elevator and the door closed. Now, as they say, bad habit die hard. I couldn't resist myself to follow their conversation. Now, one sumo lady started the conversation. You know what? My gym trainer had told me that I have put on few kilograms. Few kilograms? I thought this lady must have bad time in the mathematics because she hardly knew how many kilograms make a quintal. The other sumo lady said, yes, even my gym trainer had told me. She also admitted her mathematics power. But the good news was that they were following their gym trainer's advice, and to shed out those few kilograms, they were hogging on the fruit plate full of mangoes. My wife has always told me that mango has the highest calorie out of all the fruit. But then I looked at their fruit plate again, and I was wrong. There were a few bananas as well. Now at the level 3, the elevator stopped, the door opened, and these sumo ladies get out. It was frustrating. Just for the one floor, they were using the elevator. Maybe their gym trainer had forgot to tell them to use the stairs whenever possible. But again, we waited for our level to come. But this smart employee, again, he prepared himself to get out of the elevator, as desperate he was to get in. And he touched his nose to the stainless steel again. At the 4th level, again, as soon as the elevator door opened, he bumped into the another smart employee who was waiting from the outside. Well, we laughed out louder and we went to our respective workplaces. Ladies and gentlemen, there are 4 morals of the stories. 1, let the passenger of the elevator come out first and then you get into it. 2nd, just for the one floor, do not use the elevator. Believe me, it doesn't irritate more than this anybody, unless it is a medical agency. 3rd, never sleep in the management meeting. No matter how boring it is, pretend to be attentive and feel interested. And 4th, last but not the least, bananas and mango never help you lose weight. Oh,